Be'ezrat Hashem B'sat Dishmaya, we're back at the Limud of Shulchan Aruch in Halachot Shabbat. We're going to start today Siman Reish Mem Dalet. Be'ezrat Hashem, today is the 15th of the month of Av, Monday, the second day of the week of Parashat Shabbat, Parashat Ekev. Be'ezrat Hashem, we're back at the Shulchan Aruch here. איזה מלאכות יכול העין היהודי לעשות בארץ ישראל? So what are the melachot? Are you there with me?
No.
Page Dalet. Page Dalet. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay. Oh, you have the simanim. Have the simanim. Just make sure you move it with us. Okay. So now, so let's do halacha first. So what the question is over here? There's 6 halachot over here. What is a goy allowed to do for the Jew? What is on Shabbat? What is he allowed to? Let's see what's going on here. So the rabbi says like this. Inside everybody, Aleph. See Aleph. See here. First of all, we do Shulchan Aruch and then we go down.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Aleph, Posek, Adam. Okay, Posek, what does Posek means? Posek means is that you are giving a condition or you made an agreement with the goy. Adam im ha'en Yehudi ala melacha. So you made an agreement with him for a certain melacha, the kotzetz damim. Okay, so basically you told him, I want a certain things to be done, and I'm going to pay you for X, Y, and Z. Okay, an amount. I tell them, this is the job I want to be done, and I'm paying you $1,000 for the job. Let's say to lay concrete on the street. To lay concrete for parking lot. I have a parking lot, or my driveway. I want him to put a concrete on my driveway, and I'm giving you $1,000 to put on the concrete. Make it level, everything nice. Oh, okay. Meaning I didn't hire him for a salary. I hired him for a job.
Not per hour, per
right,
job.
For a job. I hired him for a job. So now this guy comes and he says, you know what? I have a week to complete the job. He decides to come on Shabbat. So who is he doing the job for? For me or for himself?
For himself.
He's doing it for himself. I told him to do the job a week ago, or whatever. I just signed a contract with him. Bye-bye. He decided to work on it. Even though he's going to do it on Shabbat. Right? I told him to do a job. He decided to do it on Shabbat. He does it for himself. Mutar. It's allowed in that instance. Okay? What are we specifically talking about? Bitzina. Okay? This is specifically talking about where it's hidden from the public's view, from the Jews' view. Bitzina over here, let's not put it in our minds. Anytime the Shulchan Aruch is going to tell us, Tzina means the Jews don't see it. Other people could see it. The Goyish town, what are you going to do? In the Goyish neighborhood. What does it mean? Nobody sees somebody putting down like concrete. That's not possible. Yeah. Right? So it's talking about Bitzina usually will mean that it's not in front of the Jews. שאין מכירין הכל שזו המלאכה הנעשית בשבת של ישראל היא. Because nobody knows specifically this is a Jew's property. Nobody knows. And it's done for the Jew. אבל אם הייתה ידוע ומפורסמת אסור. But, let's say, I have a bathhouse, and my bathhouse parking lot is no good. And everybody knows this is Sofer bathhouse, in the middle of town, even in the Goyish neighborhood sounds like. So far, Shulchan Aruch says, sounds like even if the Goyim will know it has a Jewish name on it, now I pay a contractor, go do a job to repair all the parking spots. And the guy does it on Shabbat, sounds like it. So far, sounds like that will be a scenario of Asur, says Shulchan Aruch. שרואה את העד היהודי עוסק אינו יודע שקצץ. Because anybody who sees this guy doing the job will not think that I made a contract with him. Will say I hired him specifically to do the job on Shabbat because my bathhouse is closed on Shabbat. That's the child. That's why I chose. And I told specifically to work on Shabbat because of that scenario. ואומר שפלוני שכר העד היהודי לעשות לו מלאכה בשבת. People will think that I hired him specifically to work for me on Shabbat because my business is closed on Shabbat. It's easier to repair the sidewalk or the parking lot. לפיכך הפוסק אם אין היהודי לבנות לו חצרו או כותלו או לקצור לו שדהו. Therefore, if a Jew contracts a goy to הפוסק לבנות לו חצרו, to build him a backyard, או כותלו, or a fallen wall, or liktor lo sadeo, or to gardening here in Florida, it's very common. we have a law. I just got a ticket on our building. We bought a building for the yeshiva. I got a ticket. Mr. Zofer, or owner of this property, your grass is overgrown. Yeah, well,
they drive around.
overgrown. So I called her up.
I
said, my name is so and so. What you want? Yeah, the grass is too high. How much high is it? It's 2 inches above the level. We just bought. I said, I'm trying to get a gardener. I called so many guys. I don't understand these guys. I approached somebody already last week. I'm coming, didn't come. A new one from another show. I'm coming, didn't come. I don't know what this guy's. Baruch Hashem. Looks like I'm gonna have to do it myself, just to get rid of the fine. She said she didn't charge me anything, but she said it's like a warning. All right, okay. So now I hired a guy to do leveling the grass. אם הייתה מלאכה במדינה או בתוך התחום, אסור לו להניחה, לעשות לו מלאכה בשבת. So if it was in the town or here in Hollywood where the neighborhoods, everybody's Jews, or בתוך התחום, or it's within the 2,000 amot, which is about 4,000 square feet distance away from Hollywood, let's say a little bit further from the distance from here, Asur le'anicha. You're not allowed to allow the goy to perform the work on Shabbat, even gardening. That's what Shabbat.
Why 2,000?
2,000 amot outside of the
but why? Why exactly 2,000?
I guess people walking.
Is that the maximum?
No, a maximum walking distance a Jew is allowed to walk on Shabbat away from the city.
That's
we're
2,000, right?
That's right, 2,000 amot, which is 4,000 feet. Where we're concerned of those people who are traveling, walking around, they will see if your property is within that time, within that area, there will be asur. Okay? Because people will not know it's a contract. If somebody lives amongst goyim, יש לחוש לאורחים הבאים שם, או לבני ביתו, שיחשדו אותו. Some people will think you're supposed to be worried about your family members also, or the guests. You with me?
Yeah.
Okay, because people will think that he is, even his own family will think that he is Halachot Shabbat, hiring the goy to do the work on Shabbat specifically. Because don't forget, today's generation especially, this is more common. Because children, they're smarter than the parents. They know how to talk back to the parents, and they know how to judge parents. You're doing it yourself. That's the way it works. Therefore, says Ramah, very good advice. Be very careful, even especially with your family, I would say. However, if the contract of the goy to perform a service for you outside of the area that you decide, outside of the Jewish neighborhood, and it's 4,000 feet away from it also, וגם אין עיר אחרת בתוך תחומו של מקום שעושים בו מלאכה, and also that there is no other, occupants of a city. So that's actually that sounds like exactly what the Maran is saying. That if I have a bathhouse in the Goyish neighborhood and I'm performing any work on Shabbat, will be there also asur, because everybody knows it belongs to a Jew.
So it's the same rule as we were discussing before for renting the...
Okay. ואין היהודי שהכניס צאן של ישראל לדיר שדהו, okay, now we're going to discuss later on in Siman, or we discussed already Siman, we'll discuss later, he says Rabbi here, in Siman 537, where you have a shepherd, a goyish shepherd, manhig your sheep. What will be the halacha in reference to that? On Shabbat, those will be the goy. Basically, you see that the goy is bringing the sheep into the barn on Shabbat. So it will sound like maybe it will be a. So we'll discuss that later. The rabbi says we will not mention anything about it now. We just want to let you know that there are such concerns as well. So let's go back to Mishnah Berurah. Seif Katan Aleph. Right? Now, so you kotzetz damim, you made a contract with the goy that is gonna work or perform for you a certain job. Hainu kablanut. So it's right away. Mishnah Berurah says, what does that mean? Kotzetz damim. What does that mean? You set special amount of money, meaning you set a contract. Kablanut. Kablanut means contract. Perform a task for me. I'll pay you for the entire task $5,000. That's a task. That's called kablanut. In the halacha aspect, we'll be discussing. Kablanut means a certain payment amount. not per job, I mean not per hour or per day, per job. I'm paying you per job. Okay. שמתנה עמו שיעשה לו איזה מלאכה מסחר דבר קצוב. I'm conditioning that I'm paying you $5,000 to perform a certain job, דבר קצוב, a certain labor. ואם עושה לו בטובת הנאה, okay, אין לכוון בסימן, however, the rabbi says, what about, עושה לו בטובת הנאה? The goy knows, right? So there will be a discussion later on. We'll see when there is a fire, for instance, right? So on Shabbat, you're not allowed to put out the fire. Halakha is you're not allowed to put out. If there's no imminent danger for the safety of people, you're not allowed to put out a fire on Shabbat. So now, why in today's day and age, it's almost impossible to say that because everybody lives together. One house burns, the next house would burn, and Chas v'Shalom there could be a sick person in another house. So the halakha is today you are chayav to put out the fire. However, let's say somebody lives in a forest where his house is by himself, and his house went on fire. It's prohibited for him to put it out because there is no imminent danger for a life, right? As it says over there, and you should serve Hashem b'chol me'odecha with all your money, even if he takes everything on Shabbat. You're not allowed to be mechalel Shabbat to save your money, right? Now, however, a goy knows if I'm going to come and put out the fire for you, he's going to get paid, no? That's the common thing. People, you did labor, you saved my house. Obviously, I'm going to come and, make you happy for that. And so there's a halachah that are you allowed to save? We'll discuss that later. If you're allowed to save, it's still goy. That, anyone who saves this property doesn't lose. So the goy understands that you're hinting to him, go and put out the fire. So that's called tovat hana'ah. There is some benefit for the goy to perform the work. We'll discuss that later in halacha siman 252. We'll discuss that. What is the 252? Yeah. Okay. So Sif katan bet Shulchan Aruch Mishnah Berurah, and on this we're going to end. Mutar. What is that? Why is that mutar? Why is this allowed to be setting a contract with a goy for a certain job? The kivan shikatzatz adata danav shikav v'damahel le'ashlim malachto. Now the goy wants to work on Shabbat. It's because he wants to finish the job fast. It's his problem. I hired him. Let's say even on Friday. I hired a goy on Friday, and I told him you have 2 weeks to finish the job. And if he does the job on Shabbat, it's my fault? No. Oh, no. He has time to do it. When he decided to do it, he do it hastily on Shabbat. That's his problem. Del Israel and kpeda bazeh, because the Jew doesn't concern about that. For if he doesn't do it today, he'll do it tomorrow. As we learn later on in Siman 247, in Sif Allah will completely say, if I told them specifically, do this job on Shabbat, that would be prohibited. And here, will end. Hopefully tomorrow we will continue Sif Katan Gimel. It's going to say without sinah. What about in hiding or in a secluded location? Have a wonderful day. Whoever needs to make parnasah, lechot et parnasu b'shefa b'nachat b'shalva.